I think.
We've definitely seen a lot of people today favoring the Winston, but I feel like it's always been paired with another tank. Actually, it's nice that you point out they don't have a Zarya, they don't have a Reinhardt. They're going to have to play a very aggressive defense here, and I think that can be a detriment to your team.
Yeah, it's more like all or nothing. You're basically going to be speed boosting in, going for a hard engage. But on the defensive side, I feel like that's never something you want to do because it's just so up in the air. On the other side, player to look out for, Coolmat. Can he get the hooks on that Roadhog?
First hook is a miss, but it's just scouting up there, trying to see how they're positioned out. The positioning a little bit scattered from the defenders, just looking up top, trying to push this under. Whether or not they're going to do a drop-down strategy is absolutely what they want to watch out for. Genji's over top. As soon as they get this cart underneath, they're going to be under a little bit of trouble. Reaper's just waiting for it.
Yeah, they're super spread out. They're almost in a circular formation. You got a few players playing in the back and a few playing right above them. It's very strange. If they're going to collapse, they need to do it all at once. They're going to drop down here. They're actually going to jump right on top. Coolmat's going to get the first pick off on that Winston, and they're going to trade out 1-for-1. McCree evening the score, taking out Coolmat, and now they're pulling a little bit ahead. So far, it's worked out. They collapsed, and they did it in unison, and it is working. And as you said, Soon, so solid on that McCree.
Absolutely, he's getting a couple kill there. It was pretty weird for me to see him try to fan the hammer, though.
Yeah, from distance? Yeah, that was very strange.
Normally when you see a McCree do that, my first thought is that they aren't warmed up, they aren't ready, and you're not confident in your shot, so he just threw it out there. But still, finding the kills that he needs, taking out Stoop in the end, and they're resetting here for this defense, making sure to control as much high ground as they can. Team coming up top, they're all pushing in right now. Getting into the server room themselves is actually a really smart play from them, just kiting around their defense at the moment.
And at the same time, you see Misfits adjusting. They're trying to stay above them. That is their biggest priority. They always want to be above them. Fnatic even adjusting themselves. They want to loop around and do a U-turn, but they got to get on the payload. If they don't get on the payload at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to do anything. They're just dodging. You see, they're playing opposite sides. It's almost like Misfits are attacking and Fnatic are defending. That's how weird this positioning is.
Costa having to pop the Zenyatta ult already. He's got it. He's walked away. This is so bad for them that they've had to use these ultimates already, but this fight has split up where they pushed together so coordinated. It immediately fell apart, getting stunned, getting taken out. We have IDDQD on the point. Both teams having a couple of kills here, but the Zenyatta ult coming out.
Yeah, it just looks like Fnatic's going to have a little bit too much here. Positionally, that was an amazing engagement. I don't think we've ever seen that where both sides almost trade where they're supposed to be, but it worked out for Fnatic, so big up to them for doing a great job.
I'm really happy to see that. In fact, that's like one of the smarter pushes we've seen today, and just in general for this tournament, where they really knew they had a goal as their team, they executed it. It got a little messy for a second, but they pulled off exactly what they wanted to, and it turned out well. Now we're moving into the phase here where we have the shuttle.
And they're not letting him up. There's only 1 or 2 members up here. He's actually going to meet the Reaper on the high ground as Winston. You never want to see that as a Winston. He's doing a great job, and actually, Misfits getting 3 kills. I don't know. I feel like they're going to stagger here a little bit, and they accept defeat. Bonathel's trying to get out as soon as possible. They do not want to give up free ultimate charge, and you can see the repositioning, getting high ground for the first time in this hangar phase.
Repositioning up there with the Reaper. Again, you always have to watch out for him coming down. So many players having gold weapons as well. Getting to see them all for myself this time. Reaper's got them. Everyone's got them.
Have you gotten one yet?
Yeah, I have a May, and I got to claim one. Hey, there's a whole push going on right now, buddy.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, what are they going to do about this high ground? I think they need to start thinking maybe about a switch. I just don't know how that Reinhardt's going to get up there. He basically has to wait for Misfits to drop on them. You can see the Winston jumping in. They're trying to collapse onto this payload. I feel like this favors Fnatic. He's going to actually jump in there, and as I say that, they're going to get 2 kills. Stoop doing a great job defending his team and actually trading out there. It's just not enough.
That was kind of interesting. The Winston jumped on there, and the whole team collapsed on.
I don't think you need to. Yeah, I really don't
need to drop there. But the Winston forced it, and the Reaper came in so delayed. But again, that is like great teamwork. Everyone coordinated, everyone knowing where they need to be. Stoop going down a little bit low, tries to drop down the Earth Shatter right as he's dying, but players are being taken out again by Soon, following up on this damage. Going to be able to kill this Reaper really easily. Gets stunned with the nice shot on IDQD. Takes them out even after the flashbang. That Discord right there really helped them out.
That was a very key Discord. I love Fnatic's play. As soon as they feel like they're going to lose a fight, they immediately start backing off. But so far, they're running into trouble. They really need an answer to Soon's McCree. He has just been on fire this whole tournament. Look how aggressive they're being, too. They're very confident in their positioning, and they know that they have their teammates to back them up.
Absolutely. And IDQD, no slump either, considered by a lot of people to be one of the best McCrees in the game. A little bit of poke here going on from the Reaper. They're actually engaging on this, getting on top of them right now. Zapper is going to pull out the Dragon Blade, goes in, but immediately taken down. Is another really good push here from Fnatic. Another great shot to be able to get in here. Reaper goes down. That's both DPS that they're going to have. This should be good for Fnatic.
Yeah, it seems that way so far. Actually, Coolmat getting 3 kills on that Winston. You don't see that too much. The only player left for Misfits is Skipjack. He's going to have to jump on top of the shuttle. He's trying to buy time for his team. He's going to go full monkey mode. He's knocking off players from the shuttle, trying to get time, but he just needs his team to follow up.
Bud's actually with the aggressive teleport in there, and we still have Coolmat jumping around all over the place. It's going to be up to the Reaper here to try and finish off a couple of people. He's got the damage, but the Lucio ult comes down to secure this point, and they finally get it, but that amount of time wasted was good. This last point is where things are really going to start to matter.
I actually want to question that Lucio ult a little bit. I really don't think it was needed at that point. It seemed like they were already turning the tables, but in a high-pressure situation, when you're that close to the checkpoint, you really don't want to give it up.
Especially coming from Vonethil, who is, I believe, their team...
shot caller. He's for sure the shot caller. You generally, as a shot caller, have a better perspective of the things happening around you. But
that was not a good shot call.
No, that was not good.
Certainly.
But we have an adjustment here, actually, by Coolmat switching to D.Va. So you can see they have a very in-depth strat. They know what they want to do at every point.
Absolutely. We have Soon pushing again. Again, they have this Lucio ult, but it's perfectly kited. Fnatic just backs up. They don't even want to fight on this point. They can just walk right back in now. Soon taking position back here. Getting headshots. I couldn't even see who was hitting through the corner there behind that Reinhardt shield. Walking forward now. They've got Transcendence. He tries to throw down the stun. He's just spamming shots again. Not even sure who to shoot at, but still finding some headshots on this D.Va. And D.Va, again, I think Coolmat moments ago was just on a different character, but we still have everybody on the ground. Bud's cleaning up out of nowhere. I thought that fight was about to be... They were about to walk away from it.
Yeah, that Earth Shatter from Stoop, he has been amazing so far. He just cleans up, and it's easy. Of course, Buds, he gets the kills, but honestly, how hard is it to get kills as Reaper when everybody's laying on the ground?
Absolutely. Coolmat soon here going to have the self-destruct. They have one more chance to defend this point from Fnatic. Gets put on the ground, but so many people die. You can see how much credit he got for almost nothing. Standing in front of there once again, and that is time set for Fnatic, and a time they can definitely be proud of.
Yeah, I definitely think they cleaned up. It seemed like they only really stuttered in that hanger phase. I once again want to talk about just how clean cut their strategies are and give credit where credit is due. I feel like they have one of the best coaches in the scene right now in Rolf Gator. Was coaching Rogue, has now moved over to Fnatic with IDDQD, and he's done a great job. Even though I don't feel like mechanically they are necessarily the best team here, it just seems like they have everything planned out, and as soon as they falter a little bit, they make the adjustments necessary to keep pushing through.
This is still early in the competitive Overwatch scene, and we're still seeing some teams struggle to pull together strategies. Earlier we saw Complexity not really get in on Hanamura, but we're seeing Fnatic, every time they push, it's with purpose, and they've been executing it just flawlessly. So let's see if they can carry that over through their defense here. They're going to have to hold for 6 minutes, 42 seconds at least. Again, going with the stopwatch, see if they do anything a little bit interesting here.
Wow, that is interesting so far. It looks, this is probably the most interesting defense setup we've seen so far. They have 3 very, very tanky heroes. And then on top of that, it looked like they were going to go for the Symmetra, but they actually put it back. But still, the Roadhog, the Winston, and the Reinhardt.
This actually reminds me a little bit of Ninjas in Pajamas in Europe, had been running 3 tanks, 3 support, actually using an Ana. It's similar to that, but they do have, of course, the damage as well on IDQD, still with that McCree, so a little bit similar, but opting out for that McCree in the end.
And you see their setup. They're doing something very similar to what Misfits are. They have 3 players back on that high ground, just keeping a zone, keeping sure that they can always fall back to a strategic standpoint.
Yeah, definitely see Fnatic holding a little bit further back than we saw Misfits did in the first point. They don't have the Reaper, of course, to drop down, so their drop down fighting on the point is not going to be as good. Yeah, they don't really have that option. They're really going to be playing a lot around their McCree. If IDQD goes down early, that could be really massive, but just the sustain that these tanks are going to be able to have is good. And Vonethil gets hooked right in the beginning. That is absolutely what you do not want to happen.
Yeah, for a team perspective at this point from Misfits, they know if they take on a straight up engagement 6v5, they should never lose. So they are going to be very aggressive here. And you can already see Fnatic, they're positioning back. You see how far Stoop is playing. He tries to get a hook. Vonathil is back, so they know they can contest it. Not too much has been wasted. Generally speaking, that first point is given up, but they're going to have to stand their ground now, and they're so out of position.
Zacharay going for the hook, and again, you're going to have to know this Roadhog's going to be breaking the other Reinhardt shield faster than they are. The engage happens. The other hook is definitely going to come out and give them an advantage here in a second. He was ready with the hook, but he doesn't even need it. Goes down immediately. The headshots onto Vods, soon staying so consistent and just trying to finish off this Zenyatta up top. Forces him away, trying to pick off this one kill. So sneaky up there. Finally, with the damage from the flashbang, cleans this up. And they have a Tracer coming to contest, but that's just going to be another dead player added to this pile.
Yeah, I feel like Coolmat made that switch thinking maybe if he got back to his team and it was a close battle, he could turn the table, which I agree. I think that's a smart choice, given if that happens, but you don't know when you're halfway there and all of a sudden your whole team dies.
On this point, you actually have to die at that point,
yes,
too, because if you spawn here, it's so easy to take advantage of these spawn points. It just gives so much free time in here. Again, we don't really see them set up quite on the high ground just yet.
And they already lost 2 members. They're definitely staggered super hard. Fnatic having to fall way back. You can see how far they are. They're just giving up so much free ground, but they're going to have one chance to hold, and they want to make sure if they're going to make a stand, they make it together. 6 players, 6 heroes, 1 wall.
Defense is looking like the offense right now, trying to get inside this hangar, get towards the point. They have a Roadhog up on the high ground, waiting for people to come in. Soon, standing up top, just taking shots on everybody. Probably going to drop down with the Deadeye. How many of these people is he going to get? The back one goes down, extra damage on the mech, pops her out, finds ID Cutie, takes him down as well, turns around for the Reaper, and continues the assault. That was a huge play for his team.
Yeah, that was a huge play indeed. Bud's doing a good job on the other side, cleaning up, getting the matchup he wanted. He was matching up against the Roadhog. But all in all, soon, he's winning the duels. He's winning, you know, getting a Deadeye, picking off 1 or 2 players, and then on top of that, winning the McCree 1v1.
Somehow, though, this fight is still going on. Buds is still alive, but that's taken care of as soon as a Reinhardt puts him into a wall. ID Cutie in here, seemingly alone, trying to stand behind his Reinhardt, but they're pushing forward. They drop the Lucio beat. This may be the chance that they need right now, but he goes down.
Yeah, IDD Cutie actually having a great flashbang there, but he couldn't get the follow-up that he needed. It looks like they might be able to hold, though. They have a lot of members here. I'm going to question that Zarya ult. I don't feel like they're going to do much there. They just don't have the damage. He has a Zenyatta, a Lucio, and a Zarya pushing up against a full team of Fnatic minus IDD Cutie.
Absolutely. Sometimes you can be optimistic if your Zarya's full charge that you'll be able to get that damage, but with a D.Va in the mix, right? Was there not a D.Va?
And a Reinhardt. Yeah, even a Reinhardt, it just doesn't seem like that would ever work out. Questionable ult for sure, but all in all, so far, Misfits have been setting a pretty good pace.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Of course, we're still in the hangar here. Coolmat is going to have that self-destruct very soon. Definitely looking for it. This is an interesting area where you can throw it off. Really haven't seen too much D.Va today, which is disappointing. She's been so strong, but a lot of these teams haven't been opting to have one. Skipjack charging in, can't completely agree with that. He's just alone.
Yes.
He's pelted by this D.Va. Discord on him and everything, getting in there, trying to mess everybody up. You can see the self-destruct probably coming off in the next second.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to drop it. Skipjack's shielding, but he's only shielding himself. Actually doesn't pick up a kill, and they're going to pop Zenyatta's ult as well. D.Va gets back into her mech. She's looking to get damage. She wants to get on soon. He knows that's the damage dealer. A great Earth Shatter from Reinhardt coming out, but IDD Cutie is going to actually clean up soon, and that's a lot of damage out of this fight.
Absolutely. Zacharay following this around like she doesn't want you. Leave her alone. What's going on
That
here?
was 5 or 6 slaps. I think you do it a little bit quicker next time, just reloading, but that golden gun Tracer is going to do it, and they're going to get this next checkpoint. They're going to have to hold a while here on this last point.
Absolutely. You know, this is probably the shiniest, most golden competitive Overwatch tournament to date. So all the other firsts we have here, this is the shiniest for sure.
And that's saying something. But they're going to get set up here. They're going to have to get a great ultimate combo. You can see top left, Misfits. They have 3 ults and 3 key ults at that. Lucio being such a benefit for the team, adding so much HP. And on the other side, Fnatic top right, you see no ultimates. This is going to be a very tough hold, and they're going to be aggressive into it.
Zacharay coming in here looking for a pulse bomb. We have Soon up top with the high noon pushing everybody into the backfield. That's giving them so much room to walk forward. And even now Soon, being taken out by IDQD. That's huge. That's the first pick they need for this. Nevix going down as well. That's massive. Those are the kind of picks that you need. Zenyatta going down early is always a great morale boost for the rest of your team. Tracer as well, the reaction to take down Zacharay when they need it. And time's getting close. It's 5 minutes right now. They have 6 minutes 42 to beat.
Yeah, I just want to commend IDD, Cutie, Vonathil, and the whole Fnatic squad there. As soon as the Lucio ult was dropped, they speed boosted back. You couldn't see anybody on their side, and then IDD, Cutie going huge there, getting 2-3 pickoffs for his team, and that means Misfits, of course, have to fall back, but they still have an arsenal. They have that pulse bomb. They have the Zarya ult, and it's going to come out right now. Will it be followed up on? Doesn't look like they want to waste it, but the pulse bomb did not connect.
It was a little bit of an awkward ult too. He couldn't even see the people he was ulting, just hoping they get pulled into it. Vonatil goes down from Stu, finding the Zenyatta again. Again, such a great pick. This D.Va is going to be cleaned up by the whole team, and they're going to have some clean pushes right now.
This is
still
stagger.
close though. They have 1 minute left. If they can stall this in any way, Vonatil's going to come out with the ultimate, speed boosting his team. Hopefully,
the Mei wall
comes down.
What is that Mei wall?
What is that?
He's trying to trap, he's trolling his teammates. Looks like they're gonna get on the point though. This Lucio ult gave them so much HP. It's gonna be really close. You can see the D.Va ult coming down. Skipjack blocking it. They're up 2-3 kills. Zarya going really big. Looks like they're gonna clean them up. Can they buy time? No! Misfits do it. And that was a close game.
Close, almost within 30 seconds. Both teams look so strong there, but in the end, all I have to say is, what was that Mei wall?
Like, can you imagine if that was an inch more? I think 2 or 3 players barely squeaked out, but honestly, like, I guess he wanted to block them off so they could just get a little bit of room, but...
Yeah, sometimes blocking the line of sight of the cart can give you free reign to actually walk out, but they had the Lucio speed boost. They didn't really need it. A Mei to stall is a great strategy. It just looked...
It looks good. From that perspective, we were like, oh no, not like this, not like this.
So, really exciting first match, very even teams. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Do you have any expectations for what map is going to be selected here?
I would say, I have no idea. I think Misfits is a really strong King of the Hill playing, so I think that they want to stay on payload, but I really don't know what Fnatic would run.
I would even say both teams are probably quite strong on King of the Hill. We haven't seen it in a while. Personally, selfishly and greedily, I think I would actually really like to see some come out.
I would love to see Control Point. Hanamuro again, maybe? We've had great games so far, and we've seen interesting choices even on the last map, even though it was a meta, you know, and they switched up the Mei, sometimes didn't play the Mei. Altogether, every map on Hanamaro has been quality.
I'm going to throw a dart in the dark and say King's Row.
King's Row? Did you see it? Is it written in chat? No. Okay, I thought you cheated because you were looking at chat.
All right, well, we'll see what our analysts think over on the desk, see if they can figure this one out, send it to them.
Thank you very much there. Well, what an interesting one there as well. Gibraltar delivering here in Misfits. I was just peeking my head around the corner and Wins was yelling his head off at the end of that one here as well. Let's start off right at the start though as well. It was the defense for Misfits to begin with, and they went for a triple DPS defense there as well. We actually saw Crew get involved in the DPS roles there. What are your thoughts on how that one sort of worked out?
Well, we talked about Genji, we talked about Reaper, we talked about McCree. Which of these two are they going to switch? They said, we'll take all 3, please. It didn't actually end up working out too well because Fnatic, man, they played so well together as a unit. They moved together from one key position to another with Lucio speed boost time and time again behind Stoop's shield. They were able to take the server room very, very early on in that engagement. And if you looked at where, where Misfits was set up, they were actually up top. They weren't far back, they weren't in the server room, and that allowed Fnatic to just take that server room right away.
So we want to talk about that one as well, because that was a really weird fight, the way that started up. I think we've got a replay as well we can show maybe just the positioning initially in that one now, because what we saw is the teams sort of creep close, and Misfits wanted to drop down, and then they almost sort of started doing a do-si-do around them here. So this is Misfits on the wrong side here.
Yeah. This is after they've already taken the server room, right?
Yeah, obviously we heard Hook and Stoop talking about this. Stoop wasn't cast in this game. Talking about this, it was the strange position. We saw it yesterday, the defensive dance that effectively came around, and you can see it's IDQD finally starting to push out, landing those headshot after headshot, which is also sweet to find. As they progressed into the shuttle bay, it was a very strange moment because at no point you can see this is IDQD going off, by the way, on the defense. Sadly, it wasn't quite long enough for them, but he was managing to start picking up headshot after headshot, and obviously that's a straightforward one. But going back to the shuttle bay discussion, neither team really took full control. The shuttle bay it was very strange. Like nobody really sat up and got solid hold because they just kept pushing straight underneath them.
It came down to like the bad spawns. Well, not bad spawns. It was the respawns coming in after the first initial point that it kind of set off half the team. Then they had to wait for six to come back in, and then high ground control was established out of the attacking team, and it was just very wonky. It wasn't as clean cut as Ben and I saw earlier on in the match we casted. It's a little unfortunate for both teams, but it's nice to see that Misfits are adapting. We had both actual teams go triple tank and triple DPS, and it was cool to see Zapre on Roadhog in particular, but Crew as well. like, again, the team was originally made because he wanted to finally play damage. He wanted to play a role that he could carry with, and he's been playing Zara for the most part, but finally able to see him on something else was nice.
Look, so Fnatic set a good time, right? All they had to do was defend a little bit longer. I think the key mistake in the end for Fnatic on defense is IDDQD was in a great position doing incredible damage as McCree towards the end of the map. He dropped down, tried to go for an ultimate, didn't quite work out, kind of snowballed out of control from there, and Misfits just blew through them.
Yeah, just one big problem for me now is obviously Fnatic did lose first map. IDDQD was very confident about taking victory there. We've talked about their mental strength before, how they've collapsed against Cloud9 with the reverse sweep. I hope somebody is doing some serious confidence boosting during this break.
I mean, you've only had so much time as a team as well, so you can be good. The honeymoon period could be great. I actually asked IDDQD before, and I said, is the honeymoon period still going, or is that now over for you guys? He said, well, actually, we think the honeymoon period ended when we were in Nubris, to be honest. We've sort of dealt with that already. We've kind of got past those parts of, dealing with the struggle, but we're going to have to see if it's over. Let's see if the struggle's finished for Fnatic, or if they're going to be able to push straight on through. The next map is going to be Dorado, and your cast is, of course, the lovely Huck and the lovely Stir. Gentlemen, take us in.
Welcome back. We are here, second round. That was a close game, though. What do you think is going to happen?
Anything could happen. That really was so close, and I'm excited to see this next map because it is Dorado. I predicted King's Road just because I thought they would go to a very standard, very familiar payload map because they look so comfortable on it. Both the teams seem to really favor Gibraltar. It was that close that we're going to be out here on Dorado and seeing the teams do probably very similar strategies, but they're very well refined at executing them.
Yeah, Dorado is a fairly standard map too, and like I said, I think their strength is in payload, and I think that's because just from a coaching perspective, they've been doing a great job. They have Rolf Gator once again there, and they just seem, both these teams seem very, very clean, very crisp, not a lot of sloppy mistakes. Even though, once again, they're not the best mechanically, I think maybe if they can get momentum, they can challenge those Titans, Envious, maybe Reunited.
We have a lot of teams here, actually, that I think can contest Envious, where in the beginning we said they're probably going to win, they're looking so strong.
Yes.
But as this tournament's gone on, every team, every match has just looked like they've stepped it up to the next level and the next level. And Fnatic is right there as well, where it looks like they've just taken it to the next level, and they want to be sure that they can actually win this tournament.
Yeah, so of course it is Fnatic rocking the red, white, and blue top left, and Misfits top right. European team coming out, and it looks like we're going to have some interesting choices to start this off. It looks like a very, very weird dynamic. You can break that down for me. Misfits going for Junkrat? I think they're going to switch. They have to switch.
The attacking team seems to always do this and just mess around in the spawn room because there's so many fun things to shoot. I'm sure they're chiming the bells and doing whatever they want. From the defense, though, it is looking quite standard. Of course, we have Stoop on Reinhardt, who's been... He is Reinhardt at this point. He's become the character. IDQD on McCree. Very normal stuff.
The big question for me is, we saw them play this map before, Fnatic, and they played so far back. Do you remember that game on the courtyard? They played almost to the left of where we're currently viewing. And most times you're going to play the high ground, you're going to play the choke, you're going to play that arch. I feel like they had to have made some adjustments, because yesterday, against Misfits even, it did not work for them.
If you can see that it was a mistake, I'm going to assume that they can see it too. Well, hopefully we can see some adjustments here. I'm really curious to see, because again, this is a map where the first pick and the first push into this part can be so good. I usually like to see Roadhogs here as well to try and go for those grabs, but not going to be seeing that today. Unfortunately, we have Zapre on Tracer, actually, who may be trying to go into the back to disrupt them a little bit. We have Stoop up top with his team, standard, just a little bit of poking. Teams trying to build as much ultimate charge as they can before they have to be forced back into this archway. We'll see if we have Nevix and his team go around this underpass. A lot of teams have favored going up to the stairs.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take a more standard approach. It seems that way, but at the same time, it's this Tracer has to add a little bit of surprise into the mix. He's going to be darting around, trying to get kills. He doesn't want to match up too close to that McCree, though. It looks like the Winston's actually going to jump in. He's going to do a good amount of damage. He's not being dropped too fast. It looks like Bud's finally going to take him down with that Discord Orb. Zapre, though, still a problem in this backline, doing a lot of damage. They're going to actually pick up 2 kills soon, pulling huge on that Reaper. IDDQD balancing it in his team's favor, but this payload is already so close.
That looked really good. Skipjack jumping in took so much of the focus off of that Tracer. I was going to say it must be impossible to play Tracer against IDQD, ready to headshot you at any moment, but he was given so much space by Winston, and the pressure continues as this fight is still going on. No one has had to regroup quite yet. Point not captured. Coolmat coming in with high charge
still
on
contesting.
Skipjack on the point. Skipjack has died and come back and is still here with his team. They're going to clean this up right now. That fight lasted for a full 2 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like at some point they could have given that up. Fnatic were going in. They should have known that the reinforcements were going to be there, that Winston would be able to get back. And it looks like they're trying to take the high ground as soon did, but it's not going to get it in time. And I'm glad to see Fnatic at least making adjustments. It seems like they're going to play a more standard defense this time around on Dorado.
Absolutely. I can already tell the core of this team is we're going to watch for Skipjack to jump forward, Tracer to follow up, but Tracer can't contest this high ground in the way that other characters could, like Genji perhaps.
Yes.
We see Genji here very often, but it's always a little bit hard to switch when you're trying to go for the fastest time possible. IDQD up top with the high noon, forcing everybody to hide in corners.
Yeah, and
Don't
it's
let
going to
the monster see you.
Yes, great protection too. You see the Reinhardt poking with him, making sure he had that protection, and then when the shield was about to drop, of course, Zarya doing the same thing. But great job by Misfits too. You see them hiding underneath this church. No one is peeking too much. They need to keep the cart moving, and eventually Fnatic are going to have to bounce down.
Oh, Graviton Surge drop down, not catching too many people, but they're trying to go for as many picks as they possibly can here. IDQD with the ultimate again ready, and soon cleaning up everybody on this Reaper, dropping down now, getting in the face of the Zarya if he can kill her. And this is going to be a complete cleanup.
Yeah, and that was a bigger loss than what it even showed on screen. Coolmat using that Zarya ult, and it did nothing. If anything, it just pulled the Reaper down closer to them, and he just cleaned the whole team up. So far, Misfits are blitzing this point. They're going to try to buy time. Vonathil jumping around the cart. Lucio's so hard to hit, but he's going to drop eventually, and they're just going to finish this out.
That was also a complete waste. They actually got that checkpoint while he was still on it, trying to defend it.
Yes, it just doesn't make sense so far, and they're so staggered. He continues to get kills. Someone needs to shut down this Tracer, and someone from Fnatic has to step up and say, hey guys, can we just sit and spawn? Can we wait until we're all here and then move out?
Yeah, we actually have a Reaper hiding up top with the Tracer doing the distraction. They don't want them to contest this high ground. If this Reinhardt walks forward, it actually could be a massive disaster, but somehow knows he's there. Finds him, pushes him out of that corner, fighting the Reaper right now with the Discord, able to take down this monkey, hopefully quite quickly, getting on the card. He almost has another ultimate ready to clean up the rest of his team.
Wow, and you can just hear the dings. Bud's lining every target up, and he's doing a great job staying on the matchups he wants to be on. Look at this, Buds is on fire. Can he get the Zenyatta? Zenyatta running for his life. Barely, wow, what? You're gonna pop ult there to save yourself? That, I definitely feel like that's a mistake.
That is level 50 competitive play that you do not want to see at this level. The fat finger, something went horribly wrong there. Now they don't have any ults to push this next point.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. Bud's doing a great job. He has ult still in the bank, and he's gonna take the standard position. They're actually gonna jump down, take an aggressive stance. He's gonna do the Death Blossom, pick up 1, 2, IDDQD helping from the height advantage, and still, great defense.
This is such a great map for Fnatic right here. This is where Buds is finally being able to shine. He's so consistent at doing this on Reaper. It's finding the kills, getting in with the Death Blossoms. That's another reason why I expected King's Row, because that's another map we saw before, where he could just drop from these high grounds on the last point and clean up entire teams on this character.
Yeah, positionally, he is immaculate. And it looks like they're gonna have the high ground once again. They're set up. It looks like Misfits wants to push in, but no one's being decisive. They're just walking around. You have half the team staying back, half the team jumping on the payload, and it looks like Fnatic's gonna drop down.
Cool, man, finding the Graviton Surge. They let him have it, really. He was just looking for the longest time. He was able to pick out the perfect Graviton Surge from the store, finally finds it. Skipjack gonna be the last to die. He pretty much has to die at this point to respawn with his team. And Fnatic, we could see a full hold here with the strength they're showing right now.
Yeah, if they continue to play like this, definitely, but they still have 4 minutes to go. I think it comes down to the supports. I think Cust is doing a great job so far. You almost always see that Discord orb right on top of that Winston as Winston's jumping in.
Yeah, the Discord's been very spot on. Again, a lot of teams relying on that extra damage to focus targets. We have a little bit of a scattered attack again, trying to come up those stairs, which we haven't seen work too well in these last 2 Ds. They speed boost right into it. Graviton Surge ready, keeping them up top, but no one can really follow up with this damage. I don't think this is going to do too well for them. They're getting a lot of the kills. They actually may get this right here in the end. Everybody down. They still have the ultimate from the monkey. They have Zapper with the ultimate. And out of nowhere, all that damage came out and was actually able to clean everybody up when it looked like, and I'm sorry, it looked like they weren't even going to get it.
Yeah, Fnatic still had 3 ultimates at the end too. I definitely feel like you got to stall out there. Someone has to pull the trigger. We're talking about misuse of ults, but when you're that close to getting the point, it's better to use one, keep yourself in the fight, keep a teammate in the fight, whatever you can do, and just buy time.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't expecting them to lose right there. They
No,
had
they
a lot of
shouldn't have.
advantages.
Yeah.
They've been playing so well, and that Graviton Surge looked kind of wishy-washy, but then something fell apart, and I'm really not even quite sure what went wrong for them. And 5 minutes, 51 seconds.
Still a pretty quick time. I think it's decent. It's decent. And I think it was Zapri for the most part. The Tracer was so distracting for a lot of that game, and it seemed like as soon as they got 1 or 2 simple combos, they could just close it out. Fnatic just playing greedy, holding on to those 3 ults. And you know, as a professional player, sometimes those things aren't so obvious. You have to call out, you gotta say bye, and you gotta feel the urgency to hold there, because you never want to end with 3 ults.
Absolutely. We're seeing Vods on Roadhog right now, which is something I'd like to see him stick with. Again, we never know with these attacking teams what they really want to do. But Vods on Roadhog, you can always get that pick here. It's been very popular getting him up on the stairs and just kind of poking around. Of course, you can take down the Reinhardt shields very quickly and you win in that war. And then Soon's going to have nowhere to stand behind. It's kind of a weird effect that just keeps rolling with the strength of the Roadhog.
Yeah, and it's a very tanky lineup too. You have a lot of protection between the Zarya, and you have Bud's heal, of course, and then you have Stoop, one of the best Reinhardts at this tournament for sure. So far though, Misfits on the other side, they have a very standard lineup. We see the Reinhardt, we see the Zarya, we see the Reaper, and of course, the tried and true Lucio Zenyatta combination, and Soon on the McCree doing a great job. Definitely one of the better DPS players here this weekend.
The tried and true, unfortunately. I'd love to see some Ani here. Again, I think this is another point where she can do quite well, but teams often, of course, go for that incredible 50% damage bonus from the Discord. Just being able to walk up with this cart right now, really not even seeing the positions. Again, yeah, kind of far back on the fountain.
Yes. It's a very strange setup. We haven't seen too much of this. Obviously, the meta has been developing. These teams taking this very seriously. There is something they know that we don't. They've been scrimming. We haven't seen it do too well just yet, but we'll see if it works for them so far. Will that Roadhog will get a pick? Will they break the shield? How will they approach this? It looks like they're going to actually switch positions once again. They're going to fight in these close-knit quarters, and it looks like Buds is going to come out on top. He's actually full health still, healing up. He's going to go for another pick. Can he get the hook? He gets the hook on the Reaper, actually, and he doesn't finish him off, but so far, so good. Fnatic cleaning up. Bud's doing a great job.
Absolutely dominant. They put like 4 bulls in the one China shop, and it was just complete carnage, and it worked out in favor of Fnatic. I think it is, again, because Bud, that extra tank there, so hard to kill, but putting out so much damage. And this is going to be a staggered Reinhardt for sure. He's trying to get in there, drops everybody on the ground, but immediately is taken out, and that's another wasted ult. Same thing that we saw before with Zenyatta popping ult. He absolutely did not need to.
Yeah, these teams so far have been fairly clean, but we can see as soon as that pressure ramps up, you know, this is do or die. The loser of this, of course, will be out. The winner will be moving on to, honestly, the better semifinal. They're not going to be playing against Envious, so this is something they both want, and they think if they win this game, most likely, they have a realistic shot at making the finals.
And holding that first point is so important. I can understand the Reinhardt wanting to try everything he can. Reinhardt builds out so fast, but both teams haven't been able to hold on to that first point, and sometimes you see most of the hold can end up right there.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually gonna pop down. Soon's actually waiting in the flank. He gets the Deadeye, only gets 1 kill, but he's had to do a lot of damage. He's trying to poke at Buds. Bud's team actually drops the Lucio. Monothill's gonna speed boost in, and this fight, very chaotic. Not sure which way it's gonna go. It is crazy right now.
That fight was executed perfectly from my perspective. Soon being up on that high ground and then engaging them in this street gave them nowhere to hide. Even though the High Noon only got 1 person, he had that sightline the entire time. It was really the Lucio ult that allowed them to even survive that a little bit, but they don't have the high ground right now. The card is being pushed. They're trying to take it back as quickly as they can. A lot of people fighting in the bank right now. Roadhog quite far up there, again on Buds, just trying to fight people in the stairwell.
Yeah, despite all of that, you can see Fnatic at the top right. It is blue all day. They're getting the kills, and they don't even want them on the high ground. High ground's not even important at this part. The payload is about to make it, and that hook, Buds is doing a great job on Roadhog. We saw his Reaper, and now we see the big man himself, and it looks like they might want to know. They're going to give it up. I was so afraid the Reinhardt was going to charge in there again.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that, so I can understand your little bit of fear there, but we do see Fnatic showing up to this last point with a lot of time left, and still this Roadhog looking to grab people off the edge, I think is going to be consistently a theme throughout this match.
Yeah, and they're difficult hooks. It's not like he's going for these short distance. It's almost max range hooks coming from him, and it's unexpected, but the team's game's going to be very staggered. You can see Fnatic's position. They fall back all together. They have great shot calling. Vonathil commanding that team. Hey, guys, we need to fall back. They're pressuring us, and they do it instantly. But the Roadhog's going to be caught out. As soon as they go for him, though, you can see him maneuvering with his team, and now we have this Deadeye protecting, zoning Misfits back, and the payload continues to push. What are they going to do?
I don't know. They shouldn't have even had the Reinhardt standing there to take that high noon. Yeah, something has to happen right now. They may be dropping down right now with the Graviton Surge getting on top of them, but the support ult's keeping them alive. Everybody fighting right now. Zarya back in the field alone, but catching everybody on the ground. Stoop almost dead. Can he clean up everybody? He has done so much for his team right now. Zarya killing the other Zarya. That doesn't even, they're clones.
That's just brutal. That is not motherly love. That is not for Mother Russia. Stoop, it was so funny seeing that Reinhardt chase after you. He has 1-2 tick, not much HP, and you're Zarya with a shield fully charged.
Absolutely.
Just
no one
kiting.
was able to turn around and really give him the look that he needed. He was back there. Everybody got put on the ground from the Earth Shatter. It was a great position to be in. He had enough charge to deal with everybody, and it really fell apart there for him.
Yeah, and once you're fully charged up as Zarya, you just burn through heroes. But we're going to get into this. Vonathil speed boosting in, dropping that Lucio bolt ult. On the other side, Misfits do a similar thing, but Vods zoning, doing a great job pulling. He's going to get another hook on this Zarya. Can he finish that target? He's jumping, dancing for his life. He's going to get picked off, and it looks like Fnatic are going to take this fight. Can they finish it in time? They have to finish it within a minute, but it looks like they're going to have a lot of room. They might just do it. We might be going to that third game.
Absolutely, Fnatic gets it right there. Zapray unable to get there as the Reaper, and that was a phenomenal push. We saw the Roadhog get speed boosted in, get the extra health from the Lucio ult, push everybody back with the Roadhog ultimate, which so many people want to say isn't even that good, but that gave them the space that they needed. We saw yesterday teams trying to push that stairwell, but that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I am just still amazed from both these teams. They seem so well coordinated. They seem like they have everything together. And this matchup is so close. Yesterday going 2-1, now going to that third match. I honestly have no idea who's gonna win this. I hope to see beautiful games, because so far, strategically, from our point of view, this has been a great matchup.
Absolutely, we've already proven one of the analysts wrong. It's not a 2-0, and we're going to be going on to Nepal, but for more from that, we're going to go to our analyst desk and hear what they want to have to say about that.
Thank you very much, guys. An interesting turn of events here when things came to Dorado. Perhaps not super surprising, having already seen some previous performances from these two on this map, but let's kick it off to start with. Zapray's Tracer for Misfits was very impactful early on in their attack.
Yeah, both teams had very impressive initial attacks, first and second stage. Both of them, I think, were reaching the power station by 3 minutes. It's incredible stuff. I don't know what happened with defenses. Both of them completely collapsed. Obviously, we saw Fnatic's very peculiar defense yesterday, and today they were a lot more stable, but unfortunately, it was a long skirmish, and Zapray, obviously that's perfect when the skirmishes is 1-by-1 spawns. It's perfect for a Tracer to come in and clean up. So Zapray obviously gets himself a highlight reel from that.
Yeah, Misfits was really effectively able to cut Fnatic in half on defense. There was several times where they would just get the right kill, and then somebody would be off to one side or the other, soloed out, and easily killed. We saw that happen to Coolmat in the middle phase near the church, and it just happened throughout both the first phases. And you're right, Lee, both teams were able to get through point 1 and point 2 in record time. Both of them got through in just a couple minutes.
So I saw that time by effort from Vods, Jason, inside the Lamerico complex in that first half there, where he managed to chase down, and the most bizarre Zenyatta ult I've ever seen, I think, coming out there as well. But let's not dwell too much. Fnatic lost a lot of time early on. They got pushed right up inside the complex and then managed to hold a bit longer. Arguably why they had that 1 minute buffer towards the end there. What's the difference between their play on those two stages of the map, do you think, that really helped them actually just hold off a bit more?
Well, we've heard them talk about being like a confidence-based team, right? And I think all it takes for them is just one good team fight, one good victory, and they can hold. Not to mention Vods and the Reaper was doing some insane work, as Fishdix was pointing out, a lot of meat shots. Like every single bullet he shot off was hitting directly in the gut to do maximum damage. He was able to just completely stop the entire push there, and they finally got some control. They finally got to settle down after the hectic start of the map, with Zapray completely demolishing them on that first point. It was just, in general, well done by him, and you can see like kind of the tail end of it here, able to chase it down, even force the Transcendence out of Nevix.
And look at the time. Obviously, this was the moment where Buds stopped Misfits. They were plowing through. think at the time, 441 was what Fnatic hit. If Vods had not made this play, Misfits would have posted a sub-4 minute
Oh yeah,
time.
absolutely. And I'm quite certainly that Vods did probably 80% of the damage that his team was outputting for about 12, 13, 14 seconds there. Incredible work for him to hold it just a little bit longer. Of course, Misfits did end up setting a pretty damn good time, but on the other side, Fnatic was able to beat that time. And actually, on attack, I was pretty interested to see that Fnatic was running with Vods on Roadhog. You know, his Reaper, of course, is one of his strongest characters. We were all kind of scratching our head thinking, will this work? Will it happen? But of course, this is a map where these narrow choke points, you do have a lot of opportunities for hooks. And of course, Roadhog able to take down that Reinhardt shield very quickly. And that worked so well. And actually, we saw Skipjack really overextend early on defense for Misfits. And definitely Roadhog was able to take advantage of that on the first point, yeah.
So let's move on, of course, now on towards Nepal. They mentioned it early. We've got a couple minutes just to very quickly break it down here as well. First impressions of this map here as well. It's been said that EU teams are better at King of the Hill maps.
So they played this, obviously, yesterday. It was a straight 3-0 for Misfits. And more importantly, they 100-0 two of those maps. So there is obviously massive confidence with Misfits. They're going to be coming into this thinking, we got it, 2-1. We can take this. For Fnatic, they need to look at it. Obviously, we heard IDDQD in the initial interview saying they were very surprised by McCree being used in King of the Hills. I mean, if anyone's going to pull McCree out, it's going to be IDDQD.
Thing is, actually, so what's weird was the McCree, it originally is run on Soon, right?
Yeah.
But it was actually switched away from him. It was switched to Zapre actually back to him, so he's actually the one to control it, and it allows Soon to play more of like an in-your-face kind of role. So they actually rotate the McCree when it comes to King of the Hill. I'm just glad I said 2-1 for Misfits at the start of this series, and definitely didn't say 2-0 for Fnatic. I'm so glad I have the European backs. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one though. I want to say Fnatic, just in terms of like the hero pool they have, and if they want to force Vods on the Genji, could be such a turning factor. And IDDQD on Tracer can be really detrimental if you're a Misfits fan, because he can control a fight himself.
Yeah, I just want to briefly touch on Cool Matt. Obviously, we hit on him a lot in regionals. Some mistakes he made in the some mistakes he made with the Xayah. Obviously, it's very big. Xayah ults especially can be massive in King of the Hill. Obviously, met up with the Reaper copter that comes flying in there, so he's going to be so key to watch.
All right, boys. Is it going to be it? Is this it? You know, Fnatic going to get flipped on?
You know, actually, I did predict that Fnatic was going to win 2-1, but this is a tough situation. They obviously got 3-0'd yesterday on King of the Hill, and I gotta say, Misfits is going to take this now. I'm changing.
Oh, well.
They lost the first map. They put themselves in a bad position.
I can't really blame you, but Lee, you in the same boat. You still think Misfits?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I originally had Fnatic down, but Misfits have looked a lot better today than yesterday.
And I'm just going to stick with what I said originally, 2-0 for Fnatic. Even though it's not possible anymore, 2-0 for Fnatic. No, I think it's going to be Misfits, unless Vods gets on a streak. Because when he gets going, he's unstoppable. Like you saw the Roadhog on Dorado, hook in, every time picking up those kills. His Reaper before. So it comes down to Vods for me, if he can perform.
Well, the pressure is on for Fnatic now as well. It's not a map that we've seen them perform overly well on so far, but Misfits, perhaps a bit of comfort coming into this one. Time for the last map of this series. It is Nepal. It is Huck and Stir. Boys, take us in.
And welcome back. Of course, I am Huck. I am with Stir. And look at these flip-floppers. They're just changing every time. Wherever the wind blows, they just say, oh, I don't know. I think Misfits seem good now, so we're going to pick them. They have no loyalty.
Flip-floppers for sure. D-Man earlier actually wasn't wearing shoes. Fun fact for everybody. And I gotta agree with their analysis though that Misfits is definitely looking a little bit stronger on these King of the Hill maps. And it's a map that Nepal, I would say you need to know how to attack these maps. You need to understand as a team what you want to do. We're starting off here on the Shrine where if you can't get up those stairs, if you lose the point first, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it seems like Fnatic aren't too bothered just yet. A big question, though, of course, is Stoop. We've seen him on the Reinhardt. He's a great player on that Reinhardt, but how good is his other heroes? Because obviously Reinhardt not being a popular choice at all for King of the Hill.
Yeah, certainly. We can see him right now. He's actually going to be playing some Winston. Definitely a character that's way more mobile for the type of style that King of the Hill lends itself to, but I think we're actually seeing both teams with the exact same setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too surprising. I think the biggest deviation that we could see, of course, is that McCree being swapped for the Tracer, and that really comes down to the duels and the matchups and how well each team does. Misfits, of course, being great on King of the Hill. Fnatic, on the other hand, faltering quite significantly in the past. So this is going to be the final match possibly for either of these teams.
Yes, remember, this is an elimination match. Misfits, everyone believes, with the advantage here, but one of these teams will be going home, so they're going to be fighting their absolute hardest for it right now. And we can already see Zapray up on the point. You can see them getting this little bit of edge right in the first part here, speed boosting forward, pulling back properly, soon coming over around on this Reaper. I think that we might see Vods with a little bit of the advantage on the Reaper game here.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at least he's not comparable on that McCree, so it could be the best situation for them. It looks like they're going to trade out kills here. 2 for Fnatic, 1 for Misfits. They have an advantage. Can they clean up? It looks like Vods, as you said, cleaning up for his team. He's going to poke out this Zarya as well. Custa showing up, getting 2 frags as well. They're going to get the point, and more importantly, the momentum and ult advantage going into these next fights.
It actually is interesting that I would say, pointing to the star players on each team, they're all doing well, but Vods has been incredible on Reaper, and Soon has been incredible on McCree, but he's dropped the McCree.
And you're forced to do that on King of the Hill. That might not be something that Misfits necessarily took into account.
Yeah, huge Graviton Surge going down already. Not too many kills being found. Pulse Bomb's going to come out in a second. He might not even need it. We're seeing the Zenyatta ult. IDQD with the last of the Lucio ult going off on him. Trying to kill this Zarya. You absolutely want to take them down when you know she has no shield. Getting that kill, so important here. And a just gigantic mess of explosions on the stairwell there. Nevix trying to fight a monkey alone. Finally being taken down. Skipjack coming to this fight a little bit late, but hopefully going to be able to help out his team here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a Winston versus Winston battle, but one Winston has a little bit more support, and actually the Lucio goes down, but not before the Tracer can back him up. Both teams very staggered. This is a close battle. I think Fnatic are very happy here. They might be losing the point, but they're keeping it contested. You can see those ticks, 53% at the ults, and Vods getting 3 kills there, coming in once again for his team.
That is one of those classic situations where you know a Reaper's going to ult when he comes out of his Wraith form, so you just assume he's not going to do it. It's too obvious. He had no team support with him quite yet, but the speed boost came in just at the last second for him. A really incredible play from Vods to push the button there.
Yeah, we heard that even from Misfits' interview. They said they're a team that use speed boost very aggressively, and Vonethil has been doing a great job all weekend. Skipjack's going to jump in here, but he's in a mismatch so far. He needs the support of his team. They're going to back him off the point. It looks like it's still contested, and finally they're going to lose it. 83% for Fnatic. Misfits flip that. I don't know, it's still a close battle, but it looks like they're actually going to close it out. 3 kills, 4, 5, and 6 for Misfits. They do a full wipe, and it looks like Fnatic are going to have to just draw back.
Absolutely. It is pretty easy to contest these points, so we may even see this go back up to 80% for Misfits. This is by no means a disadvantage for them. Holding the point is such strength. We do have a lot of ultimates coming out. Custa with the support ult on Zenyatta being able to try to push this from the side. Though this is going to be a hard fight for the Misfits, holding more ults than them for sure. Soon can get a gigantic Death Blossom out here first and takes a couple of the kills, sets the tone of this fight, and he's going to try and drop the Graviton Soldier right as the end of this Zenyatta ult goes off. Finding all the kills. Lucio pops his ult as well. Nobody is killable here, but they finally, as it all wears off, as a team, find the damage that they need.
Yeah, that was a great combo by Fnatic. They both dropped Zarya ults, but on one side, they had that Zenyatta support, as you mentioned, being so key, bringing his team up to full health, and Kulmat supercharged. It almost seems like Kulmat may be the best Zarya here at this tournament.
Oh, he's definitely incredible. Used to play a ton of McCree, but it's always interesting to see those McCree players, the really skilled DPS players,
switch.
say, you know what, I'll take a tank.
Yes.
And you bring all that expertise, all that aim over to a character where not a lot of players have that same talent. Zapray looking for kills. Fnatic holding on to the last second here. Overtime at the moment. IDQD cleaning up everybody, and that's going to be it. Fnatic take the first map. Again, proving the analysts wrong here that they do have an advantage, that they may be able to win this.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that nobody accounted for, maybe even the teams themselves, is they had one huge advantage. The McCree, Soon, a beast on it. And as soon as you make him play the Reaper into Vods, that is just a mismatch if I've ever seen one. Soon is a very accomplished Reaper, but in comparison, Vods, I don't think anybody can stand up to Vods here right now, except maybe Taimu on Reaper.
Maybe. You might even say Zapray could play Reaper himself, and you could still
switch
put
it
Soon
out
on the McCree.
Yes.
You could still try and run that because it is one of your team's strengths. You don't have to run this exact cookie cutter exactly what the other team is running, because I think honestly right now Fnatic's running it better.
Yeah, and where does it come in though? From a team perspective, where do you make that call? You don't want to go down 0-2 and then say, you know what, let's make adjustments now. You want to stay consistent, and that's going to be a big problem. It seems like both teams are constantly fighting for the same hill. Both times they're going to jump in. Winston's jumping in, going deep. It looks like Stud's going to come up first, actually, but switch to Genji, something we have not seen. Will that be the X factor? Will he be able to make the difference in this matchup? Look at him just diving around these pillars. He's walking so close to death, but he's going to stay up and actually fall to Zenyatta.
So unfortunate, dude. I like that Genji pick. That was almost incredible. He found the first kill, which is what he needed to do for his team. But if his dash came off cooldown at any point, he had the potential to kill at least 3 people with it.
I just don't, I think his Genji is wonderful, but when Reaper has been working and you're winning the Reaper versus Reaper, why not just stick on it?
I don't know. I think on Reaper he could have found more kills than he did there, but they're walking into a little bit of a trap here. Reaper hiding in candles, lighting himself on fire. A little bit of an edgelord over here in the corner by himself. Somebody falls off the edge.
Yes, that was a boop.
That into this fight.
That was a boop, that great boop from Lucio. He's actually going to get 2 kills there, and it seems like the Tracer's going to clean up, and this is going to be another wipe for Fnatic, and they just say, you know what, IDDQD, I accept my fate. I'm going to fall off, and this is very, very bad for Fnatic. Not only have they lost the point, but look at these ultimate charges. We have maybe 2 or 3 coming up soon here for Fnatic, but Misfit have already locked in 4, and if they get that Zarya ult and they combo that with the Pulse Bomb, it is going to be super deadly.
Yeah, soon coming up from behind. They have every ultimate they need to deal with this. Is he going to drop the Death Blossom? Will they even need to do it? He puts it inside the gigantic Zarya ult, and every player goes down, gets 3 kills right there. Someone on the point, just a little bit of a straggler. Need to try and find them, finish this up. IDQD still dashing around. I don't know.
Why did Kulmat die? What happened to him? We saw the suicide come up on the kill feed. He was doing a great job. He got 3 kills almost solo by himself off that gravitation, and then he just died.
That was an easy team win there for Misfits, and then it looked really sketchy. Zarya was alone.
Yes, as soon as Kulmat was charged up and he had them, he did so much damage, killed 3. I really don't know. It'd be great to see that again.
Yeah, absolutely. We still have Vods on Genji. He hasn't given it up yet. I think it was working out in the beginning. It was just a little bit unfortunate. Gigantic Graviton Surge coming out again, not finding any kills. A lot of damage being put out by Skipjack here, though, on the Winston. Jumping, able to save himself. I didn't know if he had a jump ready or not, and he might pop his ultimate rage here in a second to try and push some people off the point. They do have 90%. They don't need to take any big risks right now.
Yeah, it's 95.
Comes back in.
Yeah, I think you just want to get to 99% maybe. I think that's what he wants to do. He says, you know what, I'll accept my fate. Let's make it 1 fight. But it looks like Fnatic are going to flip it. For right now, they're at 3%. They can never give up this point, not once.
Absolutely, too. You saw Winston trying to leave there, too. That's definitely a team call coming in saying, no, just get the 99%. Listens to the shot calls there, working together as a team. Zapray looking for this pulse bomb coming in. It looks like they... Did a Zarya just go off, or am I crazy?
No, you are crazy for sure. It did not go off.
I thought I heard Zarya saying some Russian, my bad.
No, it's all good. And it looks like Zapray's actually going to get in the back line here. He's going to jump onto the point. Bud's on the other side, pulls out the sword. He's going to do a lot of damage, but actually fall to Crew. Crew's been doing a great job trying to stay alive. He's going to have to target down the Zenyatta. Zenyatta trying to do his damage. Zapray comes in, kills him, and it looks like Fnatic might lose this. They cannot give up this point. They got to keep on it. And it looks like they're going to get full wipe. This is going to be a 1-1 for Misfits. This is all she wrote for this point.
This has been so close. The payload maps have been within seconds of each other. 30 seconds on Gibraltar. We saw this could really go to the end here on Nepal. And the longer it goes on, maybe Misfits will start to feel at home on the map that they chose.
Yeah, I feel like Genji was definitely a situational pick specifically for that round. I don't think we're going to see too much of it on this map, especially since they just lost. I think you go back to the Reaper. The question is, if we go back to that map, do they stick with the Genji? Do they say, you know what, we just didn't play well? Or do they say, Reaper has been working, let's stick to it?
I really think from Bud's perspective, if that cooldown was 2 seconds shorter, that dash, he would have been able to go crazy. He was dancing around those pillars expertly. Everyone was in the corner, low health. It was just a little bit unfortunate he died at the time that he did. But I think Genji, later on, they should have dropped it. Reaper was definitely working for him, but it looks like we're going for the Bastion play. I know everyone's excited to see some Bastion right now. He's going to be setting up behind this Reinhardt, trying to lay down some fire on the other door. He can't even see what he's shooting at, but he knows he's laying down massive damage. The enemy team having a hard time getting out of this choke point. Bastion going to stand up, walk forward, take a better position.
They just haven't gotten a kill though. This Tracer's going to be doing a lot of distraction in the back, and they need to get a kill because the Bastion is not mobile. It's kind of the ace in the hole trick card that came out, and it did not work so far. Can they get a kill?
They're capping the point right now.
They have to get on it,
on it.
Bastion is just not mobile. He can't really do anything. He turns around, actually picks off IDD Cutie, picks off another one. Stu Bastion doing the work he needs to do. Finally gets picked off by Custa, but he's already done the damage that was needed. He's up 2, 3, 4, 5 kills for Misfits, and it looks like they're going to turn this point around. Do they stick on it? Do they keep the Bastion? That's the question. It looks like they're going to keep it 63%. They want that tank mode.
I mean, it's definitely something that can work. You do still have teams trying to push all through the top point here, and if you have a Bastion laying down fire on that, we could see this working, and definitely with the tank mode coming up soon. Look at that defense up there. Fnatic is doing the right thing, though.
Yes,
they're
you get
getting
on
to the point and ignoring it.
Yeah, line of sight, you play behind these walls, you play behind these doodads, and they're doing a great job. The question is, when will they fall? When will Misfits say, you know what, enough is enough, we will not give up this point? They're contesting it, this is all they have to do, but they say, enough is enough. Fnatic push in, Speed Boost comes in, Vods gets 1 kill, IDD Cutie comes in, Colmat once again consistently putting down the damage. It looks like they're gonna flip this once again, and it looks like this map, this round at least, is more back and forth.
Yeah, Fnatic taking the point here, going to be setting up top. Soon has switched to Reaper. I wouldn't want to re-push the point. Bastion is way too slow to get in here.
There's just no way.
Yeah, it was absolutely great to see them get 40% with that pick. I'm always happy to see heroes that are a little bit different than the standard. But we do have another fight coming in. Reaper dropping the Death Blossom, trying to be really aggressive with it. Didn't work out. Graviton Surge catches a whole bunch of people stuck around the corner. Trades going back and forth for both teams right now. Winston in there.
He's doing a great job. The main thing is Winston is just providing so much zoning. There's 1 or 2 members of Misfits stuck on the other side. Winston jumps in, zones everybody else out, and they can't get in to help their teammates.
Absolutely, Fnatic still holding this high ground. Everybody jumps in, Graviton Surge. This one can be huge. 100 charge, sorry. Has to be able to find some kills there, but the Zenyatta saves the entirety of his team, and this fight's going to split up all over the place. The nice tracking here on this Zarya, finding the kills that he needs to find. Nobody is even shooting Coolmat right now, and he's able to focus every single player down on the team.
3 kills for Coleman. You have to call that out. If you ever see a fully charged Zarya, that is priority #1 immediately, and they just did not target him at all.
Didn't take 1 point of damage. Everyone he aimed at was getting discords eventually.
Yes.
Full charge, tracking really well. Again, we're saying he used to be a DPS player. He has that aim on a character, on a tank.
And we saw it. We saw it. They totally broke him down, but they're going to have to push in again. Lucio dropping the beat, providing a lot of cover for his team, but Vods once again on that Reaper doing a great job, even fighting this Tracer. A little bit of a mismatch, can be even at times, but it looks like IDD Cutie and support are going to come up big.
Again, just cleaning up with this high damage. He still has about 80%. This is Fnatic with 95 on the point.
That's going to be it.
Get this to a 2-1.
That's going to be it. And it looks like they're just going to clean them up. They say, you know what? We're here, and we're here to win. We want to go to the semifinal. I like the pick. I like Misfits' choice. They say, you know what? We're going to protect the president. We're going to throw a little bit of a curveball here. They set up the Reinhardt. They set up the Bastion. It worked. It worked.
Their curveball was the only thing that did work, unfortunately.
Yes. And then after that, it just seemed like they fell apart. Oh, this is the big question. This is what it comes down to. Are they going to do the Genji, or are they going to stay on the Reaper? Last time we saw the Genji, Vods was close to getting a lot more kills, but he couldn't do it. Will he switch? Will he stay on this Reaper?
We're inside the temple. This is definitely where Zenyatta play is going to come into play, in the temple, focusing, meditating a this Definitely want to see some big discords come out from Kusta or on the opposite team, Nevix.
So far, the discords have been very much on point.
This will answer the question, though. Vods on Reaper, was that the problem?
Was that the problem? Was that the X factor or not? And this isn't something you want to play around with. I mean, this is going down to the wire. It's 2-1 right now for Fnatic. If they can win this, it will be over. They will be advancing. So far, this engagement is taking place. Both teams taking this similar position. And Colmat, once again, Zarya, 2 more kills for him. And it looks like Fnatic are going to turn this in their favor.
Yeah, Vods just being able to wraith form forward a little bit there. The Coolmat, again, Zarya is finding all the final kills here for everybody. Vods getting on point. Maybe that was the difference because that looked extremely dominant.
One-sided. That was very one-sided. Even though the Genji could have pulled it around if he had that reset, that very convincingly, Fnatic in a great position here with those charge.
Yeah, sometimes you just have those players on your team that are just so good on the characters they're good on, you can't switch Vods. He's just too good on Reaper to put on anything else. Unfortunately, getting blown up around the corner. Coolmat finding even more kills, more discarded targets.
And they're staggered.
That Zarya with the help of his Winston, and a Graviton Surge is ready to secure this point for the next push.
And it looked like a little bit of a pub stomp. They're trying to hold him at that choke. And as you said, that Zarya ult, Coolmat doing so good so far, you can only imagine what he will do with that ultimate with a little bit of pressure from his team.
Absolutely. We're going to see the support ults come out and try and save them. Everybody getting in on top of them right now, looking for as much damage as they can. They're actually just a clean wipe.
And once again, Coolmat, 2 kills. It wasn't even like they had a great combo. They didn't even have IDDQD's Pulse Bomb up, but it was enough. And at the same time, it's a mismatch for Misfits on the other side. They have the Zarya ult, but they don't have the Pulse Bomb either. And that is really the combo you want to be looking for here.
Time is ticking. This push for Misfits has to go well. They have a Zarya ult, they throw it down, they catch a couple of people. Soon as coming in for the damage, they only find 1 kill.
Lucio.
2 kills, go down. This is going to be the advantage they need to finally take this point here. The fight a little bit slow, 2 more kills drop, and they got the point for only the first time.
Yes, and they didn't have to spend that much. From a currency ultimate standpoint, Misfits only really used 1 there. They held on to almost everything else, even the Zenyatta ult. They could have pulled the trigger. Great choice from that squad to say, you know what, this is in our favor, don't waste anything, we're going to need it for the upcoming battle.
Absolutely, they're going to need it because we're looking for a push in here with Fnatic coming. Vonathil calling the shot when he's going to drop this ultimate, push everybody in here, going to be dropping a huge bomb, caught on everybody. Not sure it's killing anybody. We have Lucio ult on both sides. Both teams a lot of help. IDQD finding the kills, finding the picks. Discord's again so perfect. Every person he wants to fight has no help.
And it was just a great job positionally from Fnatic. They split up into 2 squads, basically 3 on one side, 3 on the other, and they completely surrounded and destroyed Misfits. And that's a weird situation. You don't see that often because if Misfits can identify that and engage one side before the other can support, they're going to win that battle. But Fnatic's comms, strategies, and positioning have been on point this whole weekend.
Against all odds, Misfits, one of the favorite EU's teams to win here, maybe getting eliminated, not going in their favor. We have a Death Blossom coming up from soon, finally finding the kills they need, coming in from the back, taking this back, saying they're not done yet. We're going to take this to the next game and capture the point right now. They need to get on it, make sure that doesn't get 99%, and this could be the comeback that they need right now.
Yeah, it's 94% to 40%. It looks like Zarya once again going to have that ultimate, and it can be comboed so well with IDDQD. If they get a clean wipe, they will win this game. If they can stagger them a little bit, Misfits might be able to recapture this point, but this battle is going to be so decisive.
Misfits doesn't have the support ults to defend against this, and Coolmat has been so on fire.
There we go.
He needs to catch people. He only has 2 people inside of it. They're both going to go down right away. They have the damage. He's already 50% charged, looking for the damage that he needs. Chasing the Reaper away. The Winston is just desperately clinging on to life, but he's not going to be able to hold it. They've been capping the point this whole time. 94%. 1 more person on the point caps it in favor of Fnatic.
And they're staggered. Can they do it? 96%. Can they get on the point? D.Va's trying to touch it. Can she do it? She touches it barely. Overtime, 99%, but Crew doesn't have the support from his team. Baby, D.Va's going to pop out. I don't think Zenyatta can touch it. She pops all. He's going to OT it even longer. They just don't have the numbers, though. Members are dropping out. They're pushing towards them to drop them before they can touch the point. It looks like Winston's going to jump in, drop that bubble by a little bit more time. Zapri actually picking up a kill, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. It's him against the world. It will be Fnatic moving on to the next semi-final.
Nobody believed in them, but Fnatic are your winner.
The analysts did not believe. USA, USA, USA.
Misfits knocked out in an incredible series right there. I was almost worried for a second. Vods popped his ult in celebration as the Reaper, and then oh no, we actually have a
I've
problem.
had that happen to me in solo queue.
I've had it happen many times. I would have felt really bad. Play of the game here was actually from Winston as well. They were going quite crazy. Both teams played an incredible game. Nice sportsmanship up there, shaking everyone's hands, saying, hey, I beat you.
And you can, you can see how happy they are. This is a tournament we've seen emotions up.